Welcome to the Social Podcast, where no discussion or debate is off limits.
Everybody. Oh my gosh, first of all, thank you for the sign. It is The Social.
Love
Thank you so much. And I can tell also Sarah McLachlan fans sitting next to me. Right here, so thank you so much.
So great.
Listen, Sarah's going to be very happy because it turns out we've got 7 provinces here: BC, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick.
So great,
Right?
so wonderful, so exciting. Okay, we're gonna start with this. Do you know the excitement you feel when you discover that your dress has pockets? Well, there's a We Want Pockets hashtag gaining momentum on social media as many young women call out why men's clothes have so many and women's so few. So a piece in the BBC looks at the history of pockets in fashion and the role they played to oppress women. So are pockets political?
Oh, interesting. Okay, I know a lot of you are saying they're not, but I actually think that they are, because men get pockets, women get purses. One means independence, the other one means dependence. So if you take a look at it, I'm going deep.
Okay, I like this.
Pockets are political. You just never thought about it hard enough, I think.
Okay.
When I go out, it's like I hate bringing a purse. I hate bringing all the crap, right? Because like my hands are always full. If I need to beat off a bear, and you never know when you're gonna have to do that, I'm so saddled down. I don't know if you remember, as soon as you had kids, now mom is saddled down with even more stuff, right?
Yeah.
We're always carrying stuff. We carry the baby bag, now I carry a purse. When you are able to just have pockets to carry what you need, what do you need these days? You need a lip gloss, you need your ID, and maybe your keys, right? That's all you need.
Phone.
And a phone, sure.
Yeah.
But mine has a strap, so I wear mine in a very fancy way, right?
Okay.
So in the past, a woman couldn't carry that stuff herself. She had to give her money to somebody else, probably a husband. She had to give her ID to somebody else. She couldn't run if she needed to for her independence. So today, when I think, what is independence to me? It's not carrying my own garbage. So enter my lovely husband, Ryan Gadji, who is now affectionately known as the family's donkey. And he calls himself that. When I had Marquez, I said, I carried enough. So every time we travel, he carries, she's big now, he's not carrying. He always has the backpack. He purposely bought a jacket that has 15 pockets.
I love this.
So he carries everything, because you know what? To me, that means freedom and feminism.
I will agree with you. I do think, yes, pockets were political. They definitely were. This BBC article was very convincing of that. But are they still today? I'd argue no, because we as women can buy clothes with tons of pockets.
You can
Do you know what I
choose
mean?
to.
We can choose to buy
Okay,
clothes.
so then riddle me this. I just bought a fall jacket a couple weeks ago. 4 pocket flaps, not one real pocket. Explain that to me.
Explain. That is weird. I will explain it.
It's one thing to not have the pocket at all.
No!
Right?
That's the opposite of patriarchy.
It's another thing to have a fake pocket. Why the fake pocket?
Why did you buy the outfit with the fake pocket?
Because the jacket's really cute.
It's the woman's, but that's on you. That's not the patriarchy.
No, that's interesting.
That's the opposite of the patriarchy. That's women using our buying power to dictate what we want. If you buy a thing with fake pockets, sorry, I'm disappointed in you, Andrea.
Well, here's the deal. You better be prepared to be disappointed in a lot of women, because a lot of us buy things. You probably bought a blazer or a dress and you saw that slit and then you go, oh, it's not real.
you have to cut it.
It happens.
You have to cut it.
It's in so many. No, it's not that one. It's not the one where you have to like the
You gotta
stitching.
take your-
We're talking about there is a flap there. There's something there. So you're like, of course I would get this jacket because look, it has a pocket. And then you get home and you're like, oh, this pocket isn't real. They do that to so many articles of clothing. And listen, I understand.
You have to check it before you buy it.
No, I understand. Listen, it's in so many articles of clothing. It's not one thing. It's a lot of different items.
Hey, wait a minute. It's not also just gendered. Like I called Jason today and I was like, do you have any suits that are not, that have pockets that don't go anywhere? And he's like, yes.
Does he?
Yes, he does.
I've never seen
and
that.
kids' clothes too, a lot of times they have pockets that are useless. It's a weird, I think it's a fashion thing. So it's not
a money-saving
It
thing.
is. I have a kids' clothing line, and it costs a lot of money to the right zippers
There
and
you
the
go.
pockets.
Ooh, with the 300% markup that we're paying, give me some pockets.
Yeah, but it still costs money. No, it's true.
Give me some
It's
pockets.
true, but
Would
Not like
you
the clothes is
always?
cheap.
I'll just ask this last question. That like as much as we're saying it, and I do love a dress that has pockets. The one I'm wearing today does not have them. But
I was checking
I'll
mine
just say,
either.
like, if, for example, in a dress like this, like if I was to have a pocket, am I going to put something that's going to bulk up and put like? I'm not going to do that. So it is on us a little bit.
Okay.
We are actually
And I
choosing.
love that you said that because here's the deal. My outfit already adds bulk. I got all these shimmies. You could slide a pocket in there. No one would even see it.
Yeah.
But I don't
You
have a
said ID?
pocket. No pockets.
yeah,
So
yeah.
why not just add them? And with all the things that women are doing, all the things that we can do now in the 21st century, I understand the woman in the 18th century. She didn't need anything. She had all these people taking care of her. Now with everything, we should have 20 pockets on every single thing that we buy. For all
I
the things
found
that
one.
we are doing.
wait, let me just see
And
if it's
what are you
real.
gonna put in that pocket?
Oh, it's on my neck. Oh, and it's fake.
Oh my God.
Can't.
This is what I'm talking about.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I don't know if we're solving the world's problems, but let's move on. Should you always shoot your shot when you're looking for love? Because American soccer player Noah Pilato, he shared on TikTok that a woman contacted him on LinkedIn for a job interview. He agreed to it, and then take a look at what he says happened next.
Answering all these questions, la-di-da. She finishes asking, and then she goes, "No, I have to be honest with you. This whole thing is completely made up." I was like, "What?" She's like, "I just really wanted to get you on the phone. I had no idea how else to get your attention, and this is the only thing I could think of."
So is it ever appropriate to use LinkedIn, we know it's a business networking site, as a dating site?
Listen, fresh off my anger of fake pockets, now this. Now this, listen, to each their own. If you're okay with someone sliding into your DMs and that's the way you want to meet people, to you, I wish you all the best. For me, it's a major turnoff. The first reason why is because, first of all, this is a website that is specifically for business. So the idea of a man thinking that he's going to use a business website to kind of come at me romantically, I'm telling you, don't do it. You're going to be talking to yourself in that DM. I'm not doing it.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Secondly, anybody who's been on the dating scene, you probably know that most times I always imagine the guy that's sliding into my DMs, he's sliding into a lot of people's DMs because he's fishing with a net. So it's a copy and paste in a lot of different women's DMs, and he's just waiting to see who's gonna respond. And then thirdly, and what I've learned in my dating life is that there are a lot of weird people out there, including what that guy just, that's a weird thing that girl did. I'm sorry.
It's weird.
I need chemistry, and chemistry happens face to face. I'm sorry, if you can't reach me, I'm so sorry, but I'm not doing this DM thing, and I think it's a weird thing to do, especially using LinkedIn, because that is for business, not for your pleasure. What are you doing?
I see what you're saying, but what if you're trying to find your soulmate, and your soulmate, you want them to be as deeply passionate about PowerPoint and Excel and Q3 quarter synergy findings? Where else are you supposed
Here's
to look
what you
except
do, Jess.
LinkedIn?
I love your passion for PowerPoint. That's amazing. But if you can find them on LinkedIn, they likely can be found on another social media platform. I think, especially if you're a woman, in this case it was a guy, but I think if you're a woman, can you please protect the last space online that we are not going to be harassed?
Ooh, that's a great
That's
point.
number one. Number two, also, if you cannot respect the boundary between personal and business online, where else are you going to disrespect boundaries? So if you can't respect that, I'm with Andrea.
What is
you're
our
out.
sex expert thing?
Yeah.
Oh, we have no time.
We'll talk about it later. Listen, I'm sure most of us appreciate a good sex scene, but it turns out that Gen Z, or Gen Z if you're Canadian, might actually rely on them. A Cosmos survey found 43% of young people over the age of 18 felt more knowledgeable about sex after watching shows like Bridgerton, Girls, and Normal People. So is it good or bad that Gen Z relies on TV and film for sex education, sex knowledge, sex curiosity?
Boo, eh?
We don't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so first of all, obviously I'm a sex educator. I'm a big proponent of sex education. I think that goes without saying. And I take issue with maybe this is a survey, so let's not assume that all Gen Z relies on this as their sex education. But I will say, I think there's not a problem with this. And in fact, I think it's actually a better thing today than it was in our generation, many of our generations. I grew up learning about sex like so many people, like watching like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, watching Porky's, watching like, I'm trying to think about many, like Blue Lagoon, all those
Fatal
things.
Attraction.
And they were, we remember all those. Right, and they were oftentimes kind of problematic, a little bit sexist through a male lens, whereas today you have things like Girls, right, which depicted like messy, awkward, self-pleasure, like all these different kinds of sex. And so I think that there's a different conversation and a different opportunity to learn for this generation that we didn't have. So I'm not gonna crap on it.
That's a really good
perspective.
That's a really good perspective.
I'm going to say, as a parent, this is a very controversial topic for some people. Anywhere you are in this country, anywhere in the world, when you start talking about sex ed, my head immediately goes to schools, and there's been different school boards that have had trouble where parents are like, do not be the one to teach my child sex ed. Okay, fine. If you want to be the one to teach your child sex, if you don't want the school to be the one to teach your child sex ed, then parents, it must be on you then to teach the sex ed. And why that's important is that's very personal. Every family is going to have a different take on it. Your belief system, your value system, your religion, it's going to guide you and inform you differently as a parent. So I get it. We need to, as parents, get over our own stuff. If it's icky, if it's weird, if it's awkward, it's either you get over yourself or your child might be learning from porn what sex is. Let's do it.
Might be. They most definitely will be, because I was one of the few, and I didn't realize when my mom set me down when I was 9 years old to give me the sex talk. First of all, I thought I'd done something wrong. I was like, why are we having this discussion? And then as I got older, I realized I was the only one out of all of my peers who had that chat with their parent. Everybody else was learning from all of these different places, usually porn, some movie. And it was very interesting because I'm like, it's such an important part of our lives. So I'm curious with the parents, don't you want to have some kind of control about when your child learns, how your child learns about it, and not leave it to some TV show or whatever online? I think it's very interesting. But again, I'm wondering if it's not so much about the sex, like the intercourse, and more about relationships. Because I've said this, I've had a lot of sex ed, I've heard all the information. No one has ever taught me how to navigate the emotional stuff when it comes to relationships. So the books that I really like Judy Blume, and the shows that I'm drawn to. Netflix has this great one called Forever. It's so good. That kind of stuff, no one ever sat me down and said, okay, so this is how you navigate your feelings when you fall in love for the first time. Or this is how you find your boundaries. And consent. No one talks about that, because you know what? The kids are going to figure out how to put slot A into slot B. But you got to talk to them about all the emotional stuff that it comes with.
But you know what surprised me about this? I don't know if it raises any flags for you, but that this survey was for Gen Z, Z, over the age 18 or older. Like when 18 or older, your sex ed, I mean, shouldn't you kind of know by then? Do you know what I mean? When we're talking about the shows that we used to watch, like for me it was Fatal Attraction, not the bunny scene, the sink scene. If you know it, you know it. But like I was 13 because I was watching what my parents were watching, for better or worse, because think about generationally, there was only one screen. One screen in the whole house, right? Which is kind of, it's interesting.
Yes, it is.
All right, so we're gonna leave it there. That was weird. That was awkward, kind of like your first time having sex. Kind of awkward. All right, so let's move on. If you love to watch the in-flight map when you're traveling, you're not alone. According to the Washington Post, there are many map fans out there who choose to stare at the plane's progress rather than watch a movie. Who are these people? I'm curious. Melissa. Okay, girl, break this down for me.
I will let you in on our little secret. I have flight anxiety. I used to have a full-blown phobia. I went to therapy for it. So I will say, I'm not just your regular, turbulence makes me nervous. In the past, that could put me into a full-blown anxiety attack. And then I'm on the floor in the kitchen area. It got that bad. So for me, I now have a ritual that keeps me calm. And it all has to do with locus of control, right? It's that psychological term. How much control do you feel that you have? So I have a ritual. And one of the things is like working out hard before a flight. I meditate before a flight. I do all these things. And the other thing I do is I immediately put on the flight map. Oh, by the way, I also do my turbulence forecast before I fly. So that I know at what hour I can expect turbulence, so it's not a surprise. It's all about control. So for me, when I watch the screen and I feel like, okay, we're on track. That's the flight path. We're on the right flight path. That makes me feel good. Everything is going as planned. It's very
Okay.
soothing. It's very soothing.
It's about,
Mel,
okay.
what if I could give you even more control?
Tell me.
Hear me out, you guys. On the plane, I only recently discovered this. You have it on airplane mode, right? But open your Maps app, Google Maps, for example, and the pin will still show you where you are. Because my problem with the map that's on the back of the chair is that it doesn't give you any detail. Like, I want to know if I get a window seat, what body of water is that I'm flying over? What's that mountain range? You can pull up your Google Maps and there's a little dot and you can zoom in and see the city, the mountains. So, and it's just endlessly entertaining.
Okay, wait, I'm sorry. Am I the only one here who thinks that watching that map is like watching a pot of water boil? Like,
Yes.
I'm sorry. That plane is moving a millimeter like
I
every
agree.
hour. What are you watching?
But
And
imagine if you were over
something-
the pyramids.
No. But you can't see that from all the way up there.
But
and
just
if something
knowing
is to
it.
happen, and explain, if something were to happen, how does looking at that plane on that map gonna help you if the plane is to unfortunately go down?
It's not about that. There's nothing rational about what I'm saying.
Okay, I just need
we know that.
I see that.
It's not
Okay, thank you.
rational.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
That makes me feel better.
Yeah, of course. I'm a weirdo. We haven't established that yet. I'm a total wacky weirdo.
Subscribe to the Social Podcast so you don't miss a fiery debate. Until next time, socialites.